What's up, YouTube? And I'm back at you with another video. And in this video, I'm going to give my preview and my prediction for the South Carolina versus Alabama matchup. In my opinion, this is going to be an intriguing matchup. You got two teams coming off losses. South Carolina lost to Ole Miss, and Alabama lost to Vanderbilt. So both teams are looking to bounce back after their losses. I'm going to start with South Carolina. South Carolina has Lenore Sellers at quarterback. He's thrown for 555 yards. He has a completion percentage of 57.6, and he has two touchdowns and three interceptions. He definitely is a guy that probably wants to clean up, the interceptions and put up more passing yardage. But he's an elite player. He can also run the ball. He's very, very athletic. He has 200 yards rushing with three touchdowns, and he's averaging 3.6 a rush. So definitely a guy that can pass and run. And this is going to be a dangerous matchup for Alabama, considering Alabama's performance against Vanderbilt last week against Diego Pavia. So very, very dangerous matchup. We're definitely going to see if Alabama has uh, learned anything for that matchup against Vanderbilt. So this is going to be really, really a tough matchup, I feel like, for Alabama. Also, they have Robbie Ashford, former Auburn quarterback, on the team. He has 292 yards passing with two touchdowns, and he's averaging 69.2. So another guy, man, that can run the ball and pass it. You know, very, very dangerous quarterback for both of them for South Carolina. So it's going to be intriguing. Also, at running back, Raheem Sanders, he's leading the pack. He has 315 yards on the ground. He's averaging 4.8 yards a carry, and he has four touchdowns. He's a former Arkansas running player, elite running back, really, really tough to stop. And as you can see, South Carolina has a really, really good running attack. And can Alabama stop the run? Alabama struggled against Vanderbilt in stopping the run. I think Vanderbilt was able to get 166 yards on the ground. So this is definitely a team that loves to run the ball. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Total as a team, they have 920 yards rushing on the season so far for South Carolina. So, and like I said, they're averaging 4 yards a carry. Can Alabama stop the run? It's going to be very, very interesting. And South Carolina also has 11 touchdowns on the season. Receiving wise, they only have five touchdowns on the season. Uh, Mazio Bennett Jr., he has 200 yards receiving with two touchdowns. Joshua Simon at tight end, he has 120 yards receiving and a touchdown. Um, and you have to go all the way down to Juju McDowell at running back. He has 12 yards receiving and a touchdown. But and they also have Connor Cox at tight end. He has a touchdown with 9 yards receiving. So total, they have 880 yards receiving on the team, but only five touchdowns. So as you can see, South Carolina's a really, really good running team. That spells bad news for Alabama's defense, though, because like I said, Alabama has been successful to the run and the pass. So if South Carolina can get things going with the pass and with their running game, this could be a nightmare for Alabama's defense. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Defensively, they have Nick Amani Wari at deep defensive back. This guy's all over the field. He's their leading tackler with 29 tackles. He has two passes defended, two interceptions. I mean, this dude is all over the field. And South Carolina plays really, really tough. They get up to play games. And this could be a dangerous matchup for Alabama defensively as well. We saw in the last matchup that Corey Pritchett is accessible to getting beat. And he got beat bad against Vanderbilt. A guy came around the corner and sacked Jalen Miro and caused a fumble. So Alabama's offensive line has to be able to block South Carolina up front because they may not be the great defensive team, but they come to play. And kind of nervous about this matchup, man, because are we going to get to South Carolina that beat Kentucky? Kentucky had a really, really good defensive front, and they was able to put up 31 points on them. So, and they held Kentucky to, I think, only 3 points or something like that, 6 points. So, uh, can't underestimate any team. Alabama should know this, consider losing to Vanderbilt. And Vanderbilt is not just same Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is a team that has improved. Almost beat Missouri. So a lot of people may be ranking on Alabama, but Alabama came in that matchup and didn't play up to the standard. Maybe because Alabama was still living off the high of beating Georgia, but you got to play every Saturday in the SEC. So Alabama, where's their mental state right now as a whole? Can they get up to this matchup? Because if not, South Carolina could easily come in here and beat Alabama. You got guys like T.J. Sanders at defensive tackle, Debo Williams at linebacker. Like the list goes on. They got a lot of guys on that side, talented guys. So Alabama better be ready for this South Carolina matchup because I feel like this team can come in here and get this victory. For Alabama, of course, Jalen Milroe is thrown for 1,274 yards. He has a completion percentage of 73.4. He has 11 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. In my opinion, Alabama has to go back to the Wisconsin matchup. I don't know what happened offensively in their matchup against Vanderbilt. I feel like when Alabama utilizes Jalen Milroe's legs, I feel like Alabama could beat anybody. They just utilize his legs more. If it's not there for Jalen Milroe, he needs to take off. Be more decisive back there. Nick Saban mentioned that last year. He would like for Jalen Milroe to be more decisive. Jalen Milroe has improved, though, passing the ball. He's making the intermediate throws, but I hate when he, sits in the pocket sometimes and just watches one receiver. If it's not there, if you don't see your first read, try to get out of that pocket. You have one of the best legs. That's your best attribute is to use your legs, But I would also like him to be more consistent in reading the field. Go to your first and second read every play, not just every now and then. Do it every play. And if it's not there, just take off. If Alabama does that, they'll be in good shape. But one thing that I like for Alabama to do is to establish the run outside of Jalen Milroe. Get the running backs involved. You got Jam Miller back there. He has 318 yards so far on the season with 5 touchdowns. He's averaging 8.2 yards a carriage. I don't understand why Alabama doesn't utilize the run game more. I feel like Jalen Milroe sitting back in the pocket is not his strong suit. I might get some heat for that, but I just feel like, if you got this running back room, man, utilize them. They also have Justice Haynes with 223 yards rushing. He's averaging 7.2 with 2 touchdowns. I wish I see a little bit more fire with him. He's very patient when he's running the ball, but I would like him to go a little bit north and south. I can say this about both running backs. They kind of dance around a little bit, sidestep. Just hit the hole. When it's there, hit that hole. And I believe the Alabama O-line is open up holes. They just got to hit through there. Jalen Milroe is actually second on the team, so he's ahead of Justice, but behind Jam Miller, and he has 283 yards rushing, and he's averaging 4.8 with 9 touchdowns. So he has the most touchdowns, but Jam Miller has the most rushing yards. But establish this run game. We have to get that established, and that'll open up the pass, for Alabama. Speaking of the pass, Ryan Williams, he's the leading receiver in the receiver room. He has 544 yards so far with 6 touchdowns. Would like to get more receivers involved. Jalen Milroe has passed the ball around, especially to the tight ends. C.J. Dupree, he's the leading tight end with 124 yards. He doesn't have a touchdown yet. Jeremy Bernard has 220 yards, and he has 1 touchdown. So everybody else only has 1 touchdown. Ryan Williams has 6. So I would like for Alabama to get more, players to get more touchdowns. That's his favorite receiver is Ryan Williams, but I would like for other receivers to get more involved. And like I said, you can set that up with the run game, up front. Defensively, Alabama, they have Jahad Campbell. He has 44 total tackles. He has 1 pass defended and 1 interception. Deontay Lawson, he's right behind him with 41 total tackles. He has a sack. He has 3 passes defended. You would like the linebackers to play to the standard. Like I said, Alabama has given up a lot of rushing yards the second half in the whole game against Vanderbilt. So those 2 guys got to get a hat on the head and hit those holes and stop their run game, man. And also the D-line has to play up to the standard. I feel like the D-line is lacking. They're not holding up at the line and not getting a lot of pressure. So, and that's leading to players being able to pass downfield, and our secondary is getting exposed, I feel. So just the defense as a whole just has to play a lot better against the run and the pass. We all know Kane Womack runs a 4-2-5 defense, swarm defense. He definitely has to get some things fixed with that swarm defense. It's like it's being successful to the run. We got to be able to stop the run. We can't stop the run. This is going to be a dangerous matchup, and Alabama could potentially lose this matchup, and it can definitely happen. Vanderbilt proved that to everybody, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see. And not to mention, Alabama just lost, you know, um, Jaheim Otis. He has decided to opt out, red shirt, and he's going to transfer. So we got to get them big guys up front. We got to get them involved. Tim Keenan, a lot of those guys, Jamarian Latham, uh, Damon Payne, those guys going to have to step up. Jordan Renard, all those guys going to have to step up front. And that's a huge blow to Alabama on that uh, defensive line. Even though Jaheim Otis has been injured, he just hasn't been, effective. So can Alabama stop this run game and potentially the passing game with this South Carolina offense? Shane Beamer, a lot of people don't give him credit. He knows how to scheme up an offense. So it's going to be very interesting. Are we going to get to South Carolina versus Kentucky, or are we going to get to South Carolina against the Ole Miss matchup? We will see. I was looking at the line for this game. The spread is, some places it has minus 21. Some places it has minus 22.5. If I had to give my prediction, South Carolina's going on the road to Tuscaloosa. I'm picking Alabama to win this matchup, but this could potentially be a very, very close matchup. If South Carolina looks at the tape and incorporates some of the things that uh, Vanderbilt was doing, this could be a recipe for disaster for Alabama. Defensively for Alabama, they got to stop the run and the pass. They got to play better. And how much better can they get over this week? It's going to be very, very interesting. I got Alabama winning. I think it's going to be close. I think I saw a stat somewhere that Alabama's like 2-2 or something like that as far as the spread this year. I think this is going to be a close matchup. I really do. Teams have got more tape on Alabama, and they see that Ryan Williams is the leading receiver. So I think South Carolina is going to try to double team Ryan Williams, but he's phenomenal. Some kind of way Alabama always finds a way to scheme him open, but I believe South Carolina is going to come in this matchup. This is a very dangerous matchup. I'm being honest. I think Alabama could lose this game. You know, if South Carolina comes in there and implements the same game plan that they saw against Alabama versus Vanderbilt, they could win this matchup. But I think Alabama does just enough defensively to get some stops. Alabama has to get off the field on third down. I think Vanderbilt was 12 for 18 on third downs last week. Alabama has to get off the field on third down. If they can't, that's why I'm saying this is going to be a tough matchup. I don't think Alabama's going to clean it all up this fast. So, but I got Alabama winning, very, very close. Can't really give a score, but I got them winning, maybe about 3 points or something like that. But if Alabama runs that scheme that they ran against Wisconsin, where they utilized Jalen Milroe, that, in my opinion, that was the perfect scheme that we need to run. That should be our identity going forward. If not, this could be a tough matchup, and Alabama could lose. But I got Alabama winning slightly at home. Alabama will learn from it and get better. But what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Once again, if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll definitely be back with more college football content. Thanks, guys, and roll tide.